This steak and gravy meal is why my family thinks that I cook like a Southern grandma, even though I don't know what I'm doing. Let's go. Welcome back to another episode of my quick dinner series. Today we're making 7 steaks and gravy. I have 2 packs of these 7 steaks. I am going to quickly brown them on the stove and pop them in the oven with some gravy. It's 8:17 and y'all know that on Sundays I like to already have my dinner going. So we're gonna be a little bit quick with this, okay? First things first, we gotta season the meat. False alarm. Second thing second, we gonna season the meat. But first thing first, I had to wash the meat. Y'all know I don't play that. But anyways, we're seasoning with garlic powder, onion powder, all-purpose seasoning, and paprika, of course. I don't measure my seasonings, but how heavy or light you like to measure is up to you and your house. And then I just give it a mix. And I chopped up some onions and bell peppers. I added some oil to the bottom of the pan and then just let it heat up before I added my meat. And I just let it brown for about 3 to 4 minutes on each side before removing the meat from the pan. I had 2 more steak that couldn't fit in the pot, so I'm browning those. Add in the onions and bell peppers. I was gonna put it in the oven, but I had to call my dad. I had to call my dad for instructions, so I'm just gonna do them on the stove. Same concept as like putting them in a slow cooker, but they cooking faster because they're gonna be on fire. They're gonna be on an open heat, on an open fire. They're gonna be on top of the stove. Jesus. Anyways, and I'm gonna add the onions and bell peppers to the same pot, and I'm gonna leave all of that at the bottom. Now, I purposely cut these onions and bell peppers as big as I did because listen, I have a child that refuses to eat onions and bell peppers now, so I make them big enough so that he can pick them out of his food. I've learned how to pick my battles, and as long as he's eating and not asking to pull up to a drive-thru, a win is a win for me. And as I'm sauteing the onions and bell peppers, I make sure to scrape all of that from the bottom of the pot because we're gonna leave that there and it's just gonna add flavor for our gravy. And while I'm sauteing the onions and bell peppers, I added about a tablespoon of better than bouillon. And I give that a mix and incorporate it in with the veggies and the scrapings from the bottom of the pot. And after that's all mixed up, I go ahead and I add the meat and I add all of the juices, drippings, whatever that was in the bowl with the meat. I add that right back to the pot. Surprise, surprise. Out of the pack. I told y'all over here at the Quick Dinner Series, we work smarter, not harder. So the gravy packs call for 1 cup of water, but instead of 1 cup of water, I use 1 cup of beef broth. And you can use water too, it'll still taste good, I promise you. I always mix my gravy in a separate cup and then I just pour it right over the meat. And then I just give it a little mix. Simple enough, I promise you. And I cover it right on up. So it is 8:56 and I just put the meat on, added the gravy to the meat. And I'm just gonna let it cook down, honey, until it's as tender as I like it. Baby, I'm gonna get back in the bed. But before I do, I almost forgot. I'm just gonna add some garlic powder, onion powder, and all-purpose seasoning to the gravy and give that a little mix. Okay, so I am about to do my rice. I told y'all this before, but I'm gonna say it again because I feel like I've just discovered like the cure to something. I don't know. But that Drew Barrymore 10-in-1 cooker, baby, I used, when I made red beans and rice last week, it was my first time using the rice cooker function. And of course, I'm about to do it again. Of course, I will have it linked down below. You can click the link in my bio. And it is linked on my Walmart storefront. So I already have the rice and the water. I'm gonna add just a little bit of salt to my rice. I add the top, of course. Power it on, and then just go to menu. Keep going until you get to rice. 1 is for white rice, 2 is for brown rice, and that's it. And then the very last thing that I'm gonna do is these green beans out of the can. Add a little garlic powder and onion powder. Then about a half of tablespoon of better than bouillon. Okay, so it is 11:21 and the food is done. In all fairness, the food has probably been done for probably about 30 minutes now. I'm not gonna say I took a nap or I fell asleep, but in the middle of me cooking, I realized I'm coming down with something, very much something. I don't know if it's a cold or whatever, but anyways, it's neither here nor there. And then the baby asked to go get on the food. Look, the food done, okay? If I could, I would literally eat rice and gravy at least 2 to 4 times a week. My husband prefers mashed potatoes and gravy, but I am a rice and gravy girl down. Oh my God. Bro, this gravy? And listen to my husband co-signing in the back. It really don't matter what I cook. He thinks everything tastes good. And look how tender. Once again, I surprised myself. That's it. That's all. Bye.